Welcome back. So in the last episode, we started making it so that the stars spawn randomly every 500 milliseconds, and they regenerate after they they disappear when they hit the bottom of the screen. So in this episode, what I'd like to do is try to make it so the bounding boxes around the stars and the spaceship are a little better, so that we don't get the stars when we just bump by accident, because when we have the meteors and stuff, that also means the player will die even if they didn't really hit the asteroid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Physics Editor. So this is another tool by Code and Web, they make some really great tools. So Code Web. So you've seen me using Texture Packer, and this is my first time using Physics Editor, but it seems very cool, so I've always been interested in it. It'll let us make these custom bounding boxes around our sprites. When I bought this, actually here at the store, they offer this indie discount. So I just picked the indie discount, went lifetime, and I bought the everything. So now I have to get my money back and try them in projects. Of course, you can start with a free demo. I did the Texture Packer on the free trial for a while before I purchased. Okay, so let's create a new project. Great. Now, how do we get started? Let's add a sprite. And let's make sure I'm in the folder here. Stargazer, preparation, entities, ships. We're using the orange ship. All right, so we've loaded our sprite here, and we now can use this tool to generate the outline automatically. Let me see if natural, straight. Which one has the least vertices? Natural is the least vertices, so that sounds good. And we might even be able to clean this up a hair, because the more vertices we have, the more computation we need. So for example, we can probably get rid of this point and just drag that one down. You don't need this guy up here. Remove that one. Guess there's a little bit of an arc there. All right, we can remove that. All right, something like that looks pretty reasonable. We can get rid of that guy. All right, so we'll do this. The name is orange, unfortunately, which is the name of my sprite, something I didn't really think about, but we'll survive. The next thing we need to do is add the star. So this one will also be called gold. So anyway, great. We'll do this, and we can clean up this by ourselves, so we can get rid of these double points on the edges. All right, and we're going to reposition these to bring them in here a little bit. All right, and something like this should be much better than what we had. So we'll save this project first. And I'll go Stargazer, preparation, and I'll just call this shapes. Okay, and then I'm going to publish this. And we need to pick our folder here. And it'll be assets. And it won't be under sprites, it'll just be here, and it'll be called shapes.json. Yep. You cannot. Okay, so there's another problem here. My exporter, it's not set to be phaser, so I need to go to phaser. The reason we're using Matter.js, by the way, is because Matter.js supports this, and traditional arcade physics would not support this. All right, I'm going to publish again. Stargazer, asset, sprites, shapes. All right. Okay, so now we've published this, and we may need to come back and change this, but let's try our luck with it as it is. I'm not sure if we're going to need to start setting the label in here, or if we can get away with setting it how we're doing it currently. So I'll leave this open. All right, so what we want to do is go into our load scene, and right below where we load the atlas, we can say this.load.json, and we need to give it a key. So let's say shapes, and then we can just say same as the other stuff, assets, and then we'll say shapes.json. And I see a bug there. It's going to yell at me. Replace with a comma. There we go. All right, so now we're loading in that JSON file that we just generated, which if we take a look at it, it's pretty, it's just this JSON file, and it basically defines a bunch of stuff for the different objects in our game, and even it defines some physics or some friction stuff, it looks like. All right, so the next step is that we need to apply this to our objects. So we'll go back to our game scene, and where we have our ship. All right, let's see. So we can say we're only doing it on in one spot here, so I'm going to put it right here. Shape, and we can say this.cache. I don't know why it puts it in cache. Maybe in Phaser you could have another thing called the registry, which lets you share data between scenes. So maybe this is a way that it stores data that was loaded in another scene, I guess. Get, and we can say shapes, and then we're going to say .orange. All right, this is probably going to break everything, but we can see if we have the right shape on our object. All right, so now you can see we have this outline here, but nothing works, and these objects start to drag down the spaceship and make it so it can't even fly up if it wants to. So this is because some interesting stuff happened. So real quick, let's see. We also need to do this for the stars we create. So let's add this to the stars, and then we can work on the fixing the other stuff. So, all right, and then here's star gold. All right, let's make sure the stars have the right shape, and then we'll fix our collision. All right, so our stars now have really nice bounding boxes, which means they're also spinning when they hit each other, which is kind of cool. All right, so we have to go up to our collision code, and you might notice that here it's just saying bottom right. It's not even saying the name of our different objects now. So let's see if we need to add this stuff in physics. But from what I understand, it seems like the physics editor wraps another object around the body. So you have a parent body, you have the body that is now the definition of the body that we had before, and then you have the sprite. And the parent body, I think, holds the information we declare, like the label, and the sub body actually holds the information like the bounding box. And I don't really understand why Phaser does this. So if you understand, please make a comment down below. I'd love to understand this better myself. So what I'm going to do real quick just to see is I'm going to say parent here. And I'm also going to say parent here. All right, let's see if we see any of them say stars again. All right, so it says orange, gold. Not quite what I wanted. So it looks like it's definitely using the name here. And can I rename this somehow? All right, it's definitely using the name here. So we're gonna label this here, and I'm gonna give it the name star, and the other one will be player. And then I'm going to save my project again. I'm just gonna publish it. So it seems like okay, orange is still there, but star is correct. What did I do? And so this looks like a bug on Mac. I need to move my cursor away from here, and then I can publish, and it should fix it. And all right, great. Player and star are now colliding. So we need to change a lot of stuff here. So here we also need to do .parent. And here we also need to do .parent. And it also makes me wonder, is there any reason? Actually, I'm sort of curious. So if we scroll up for a second and freeze this. So we have the body. They're both stars here. So let's go look in one of these bodies. And the parent now has the star that we defined, but does the game object have the label? No, it doesn't. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like it overwrites it, and it puts it, what we define in the shape overwrites it in the body that it creates as the parent, and we can't add that by ourselves. Okay. But it's interesting because we still have like an ID, I think, on the parent too. So I guess because the file must find a name for us, or a label for us automatically, we have to use that. And while this is not doing well for my computer when it gets this bogged down and trying to calculate all of these different stars, so we need to fix this very quickly. In fact, let me just pause this for a second. All right. All right, so checking the labels here so we can get the objects, and then we can just say remove object. So that in theory might work. And here we need to see if we need to update this for the wall code too. I guess we probably will. Or not here. I think the wall will still have the correct label, and we need to do the parent here. Okay, and then let's see. And we probably need to update our remove entity code. So what we need to do is we can say body.id equals obj.parent.id. And then we can destroy the object, game object like we were before, and we'll destroy, this time we won't destroy the object that's the bounding box, will destroy the parent. All right, let's check this out and see how many red errors we get in our console. All right, first test, can we hit a star? No. Can stars disappear on the bottom? It looks like it. All right, so we'll take a look at why the player can't hit the star. If obj.parent. All right, we need to make that one last change, and then we should be all set now. All right, so we can pick stars up now, which is super cool. And if they go down to the bottom, they'll just disappear and then they'll respawn. Great. So that's about what I want to do for now. So in the next video, we'll add the asteroids, I guess, and make it so that they can hit our ship. And we'll have to add the bounding box for them. So please like and subscribe if you're enjoying these videos, and I'll see you in the next episode.